But growing up, okay, so working class family, suburbs of Chicago. Oak Lawn was where I grew up very early on. Parents were both educators, well, both went to college for education. My mom became an elementary school teacher, but once I was born, she took off to raise me until I got a little bit older, and eventually my sister as well. My dad never actually got into education. He ended up finding his footing and an amazing career in steel, like a steel company. He became an executive there. But we got bumped around to different places because of that. Went from Oak Lawn to Lockport, and then from Lockport to Huntsville, Alabama, which was a bit of a culture shock. And then from Huntsville, Alabama, back to Naperville, Illinois. So basically from Oak Lawn to Saved by the Bell over a span of I don't know, 10 years or something, moving around and kind of getting exposed to different types of people. And especially in Naperville, where the judging capacity, that the people tend to have very, very, I'm trying to be politically correct here. Feelings are strong there in terms of appearances. And I hadn't been anywhere where that was the case before. So that really hit me hard. And it sort of drove me for a bit of a loop. And I spent a lot of my formative years there, at least in terms of high school and a little bit of college, really worried about what everybody else thought and everybody else was concerned with, and how I was being viewed or seen or behaving. It was probably that first trip to Japan where they are a very group-oriented society as opposed to an individual-oriented society. And a lot of their culture and their mindset, it's around grounding yourself, or a little bit of the Zen Buddhist culture and things like throwing away what you don't need and focusing sort of inward on what matters. That is kind of what I was able to take from that. So in an American perspective, I would say that they're just not all that into you. is what basically I would say is the lesson that I learned. Basically, people are wrapped up in their own battles, their own lives. And what I would tell my son as he gets older that nobody had a chance to tell me is that if somebody is really spending that much time and energy on trying to antagonize you or cause trouble for you, that's their problem, not yours. Because honestly, most people are really not that interested in what's going on with you. They have their own thing. And that trip to Japan was very grounding in that aspect, to be in this culture where, despite being a bit of an outsider, to understand and see how everybody kind of operates as one unit. And people don't seem to be that focused on those external things. That's being very stereotypical in a way. And I'm not trying to say that. I'm just trying to say that the environment and the people and the interactions that I had there kicked that little attitude to the curb a little bit. And I still find myself catching myself doing it from time to time, but it has helped kind of ground myself in that. Are you really worried that some random person is going to think A or B? Is that really worth your time? No, it's not. Think about that. So that's one of the lessons I would say I took from that.